5 more than a number is 17. So we got to write an equation. This goes back to our verbal and algebraic expressions that we were doing the other day. 5 more than a number. How would I write that? X plus 5, or you could write it as 5 plus x. Either way is fine there. So 5 plus x or x plus 5. What did we say is stands for? Equals. And then we got 17. So I got 5 plus x equals 17. Now that I've got my equation written, I can solve it. How am I going to solve it? Minus. Minus 5 on both sides. So I'm going to get x equals, what's 17 minus 5? 12. Do we have any questions on that first one? Okie dokie. Number 2. If 7 is subtracted from 6 times a number, the result is 10. So how would I write 7 is subtracted from 6 times a number? Six x minus 7 equals 10, right? So the result is means equals, and then we've got 10. You have what? That is not the same. Because it says the 7 is subtracted from the 6x. The only, I mean, you could technically write it as negative 7 plus 6x. That's the same, but what you said was not the same. They're going to get more complicated, like the next one. All right, so let's see. Now we got to solve this. How am I going to do it? Plus 7. So we're going to get, what, 6x equals 17. What am I going to do with the 6? Divide. And does 6 go into 17 evenly? Can it be reduced? Like, is there a number that goes into 17 and into 6? I don't think so, right? So let's just leave it as an improper fraction. Let's leave it as 17/6. So if you come across one, it doesn't go into it evenly, and it doesn't reduce, or even if it does reduce it, but leave it as an improper fraction or a fraction. That's how I'd prefer you give me your answers instead of giving me a rounded decimal. All right, number 3, 2 consecutive integers whose sum is 49. All right, so let's talk about what in the world is a consecutive integer. Do you know what consecutive means? Not necessarily over and over. Consecutive. Consecutive means one after the other. So like, if I say the number is 3, what comes after 3? 4. So 3 and 4 are consecutive integers. They come after one another. So it says 2 consecutive integers whose sum is 49. So let's talk about, we'll use that 3 and 4 example that I talked about. So if I have 3 and I had 4, how do I go from 3 to 4? What do I have to do? Plus 1. I add 1. So let's say I didn't know what the number was. So let's say it was x. How would I get to the number that came after x? Plus 1. And when this thing stops spinning, I'll write that down. It did this all first period, kept spinning. Come on. Jeez. Okay. So the same concept, I got to get plus 1. What would this number be? Let's not write it that bad. X plus 1, right? Because you told me to go from 3 to 4, I'd have to add 1. We're saying here, I don't know what the number is, but to get to the next one, I got to add 1. Because x and 1, are they like terms? 1 and x are like terms? No. So I can't add, like, directly add them together, like I think you guys were trying to say, like, it would be 1x. I can't add those together because they're not like terms. But I can write them as x plus 1. So when it says 2 consecutive numbers, that means that one of them is going to be x, and the other one is going to be x plus 1. And it says find 2 consecutive integers whose sum, that's how I know I'm adding them together, is 49. So x represents one of the numbers, and x plus 1 represents the other number. So that's my equation. Now I've got to solve it. What can I do? Add the x's, right? The x here and the x here are like terms, and that's going to give us what? So we're going to have 2x plus 1 equals 49. Now what? Minus 1. So we're going to get 2x equals 48. Divide by 2. So x is 24. So that means the first number is 24. What's the next one? 25, right? Because you got to add one number to it. So my 2 answers here, because it said find 2 consecutive integers whose sum is 49, that's going to be 24 and 25. And think about it. If I add those together, 24 plus 25, do I get 49? I do. So those are my 2 answers, 24 and 25. Okay. Save that. Let's scroll down here. Okay, number 4. If the sum of a number and 7 is divided by 4, the result is 19 more than the number. All right, let's try to break this down into parts. The sum of a number and 7. How could I write that? X plus 7. So it says that sum is divided by 4. So I'm going to put divided by for the whole thing and then put 4 underneath it. Because it said that sum is divided by 4. What does the result is mean? Equals 19x. 19 more than a number. Plus 19 plus x. So how do you think we might go about trying to solve this one? Multiply by 4. Very good. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 4. The 4s are going to cancel. Give us, okay, so it's going to be, why don't you go like a 1? There we go. X plus 7 equals, so you said I get 76 plus what? 4x, because I got to distribute this to both of those. You good, Garrett? Okay. Now what? Okay, which one do you want to subtract? The 4x, that'll work. You can go ahead and write it down. I'm waiting for this thing to stop spinning. We subtract 4x from both sides. Sometime I'm going to be able to write that. There it goes, finally. Minus 4x on both sides. So let's see, that's going to be x minus 4x is going to be what? Negative 3x plus 7 equals 76. What's our next step? So we're going to get negative 3x equals, all right, 69. And we're going to divide by negative 3. And I know my answer is going to be what? All right, a negative 29. It's going to be a negative. And you said a negative 29. Is that right? 23? Yeah, I don't think so. I might have heard you wrong. These masks make it hard to hear. All right, I think it's time for you to try one. You try number 5. See what you can do with number 5. Do it any more time? All right, so let's see. It says 9 less than 3 times a number. What'd you write? Three x minus 9, right? Because it says the 9 is less than that. So if it's less than, it's got to come after. So yep, 3x minus 9. Then it says divided by 4. So I'm going to take all of that divided by 4 is, so that's equal 21. So now that we've got it written, from there, how are we going to solve it? All right, multiply by 4 on both sides. So we're end up with 3x minus 9 equals 84. All right, then we're going to go plus 9. And we're going to get 3x equals 93. And then divide by 3. 31. Is that what you said? Okay. All right, I want to skip down. That's not what I wanted. I'm going to skip down here and go to number 10. Do some more of those consecutive integer problems. Oh, we're going to do it together. Or do you want to do it by yourself? Say that again? We're good? Okay. Number 10. So find 3 consecutive integers whose sum is 84. So for 2 consecutive, it was x and x plus 1, right? Now let's think about what would it be then for 3 consecutive integers. So let's see. Let's just use, I'll use 6, 7, and 8 for instance. I'm not saying this is the right answer. I'm just saying, let's use them as an example. So to go from 6 to 7, I do what? Plus 1. But to go from 6 to 8, I have to do what? Plus 2. So let's see, then that means, let's say for instance, my first number is x. The next one's going to be what? X plus 1. And then the one after that's going to be x plus 2. So it says 3 consecutive integers, then those are going to be x, x plus 1, and x plus 2. It says their sum. What does sum mean? Add. So we're going to add those 3 together. So x plus x plus 1 plus x plus 2 is, so equals 84. So there's our equation. Now we got to solve it. I think we got some like terms there. We've got x, and x is going to be what? 3x. And we've got 1 and 2 is going to be what? Plus 3 equals 84. And our next step to solve is going to be, say it again, minus 3. Minus 3. So we're going to end up with 3x equals 81. Divide by 3. Right. Say what? 21? Uh, 27? 27. Okay, yeah, that sounds better. Yep. Because you went 3 into 81. So 3 would go into 8 2 times, and that would give you 6. You'd subtract, you got 2 left over, bring down your 1. Yeah, 3 would go into 21 7 times. 27. Okay, we're going to do 2 more word problems. We're going to do number 11 and then number 13. Number 11. Now this one's a little bit different from what we were just doing, because this time it says find 2 consecutive odd integers whose sum is negative 96. It says odd integers. And so I'll use an example just to kind of get our thinking. So let's say the number is 5. What's the next odd number after 5? 7. So how do you go from 5 to 7? Plus 2. So if I don't know what the first one is, I'll call it x. To get to the next one, it would be x plus 2. So we've got 2 consecutive odd integers whose sum, so we're adding them again, so it's going to be x plus 2 is negative 96. And then we're going to solve that equation. So combine my like terms, x and x. 2x. What are you doing? Or you sanitize your hands? Okay, so we got 2x plus 2 equals negative 96. Now what? Minus 2. So we're going to get 2x equals, and then divide by 2.
It's 96, not 98.
but it was negative 96 minus 2.
Okay.
You're going more negative, right? So, all right. Okay. Oh, my brain. I know my answer's going to be negative. Let's see what it's actually going to be. Brains everywhere. All right, let's see. Now, 2 can go into 9 how many times? 4 times. And that's going to be 8. And we'll subtract, and we got 1. Then bring down the 8. 2 can go into 18 how many times? 9 times. 9 times 2 is 18 with the remainder of 0. So 40, negative 49. All right? Yeah, when I get those problems, I always have to think of a number line. So I think if I'm at negative 96 and I'm going minus 2, then I'm going more negative. More negative is actually a bigger number. Well, a bigger negative, right? Huh? Okay, last one we're going to do is number 13 here. And I'm going to scroll my page up some. Not down here at the bottom. There we go. All right, Mary is 2 years older than 3 times David's age. All right, I'm going to use an M for Mary and a D for David. Makes sense, right? So Mary is, so this is going to be M is, what do I write for is? Equals 2 years older than, so 2 plus 3 times David's age, so 3D. So Mary is equals 2 years older than, so 2 plus 3 times David, 3D. All right, now let's look at the next sentence. The sum of half of David's age and 4 gives Ryan's age. Half the sum. What does sum mean? Adding. So I'm doing half of adding David's age and the number 4. Half of David's age. So half of D plus 4, because it said sum, equals Ryan's age. I'm going to use an R. The sum of their ages is 78. So we're talking about everybody. So that's going to be Mary plus David plus Ryan equals 78. And this is probably the hardest one you would probably come across. I want to try to figure out all of their ages. I don't know about y'all, but I don't think I can solve equations with like a bunch of different variables in them. It gets confusing. But I think there's a way that we could use what we've written down and make it so they're all the same variable. How can I do that? Well, I can say this is Mary's age because it says M is equal to, right? So I can take that and I can put it right here for M. So I'm going to put that in there. 2 plus 3D. Put that in for M. Plus, I'm going to keep that D. Plus, this is what Ryan equals right here. So I can put that in for R. So that's going to be 1/2 parentheses D plus 4 equals 78. Now, is that equation, does it have the same variable in it all the way across? Yes. So what we just did is called substitution. We substituted what Mary and Ryan's ages were in that other equation. And now we can solve it. How do you want to start solving it? Distribute. So we're going to distribute this 1/2. So I'm going to end up, I'm just going to drop everything else down. So 2 plus 3D plus D. Let's see, what's 1/2 times D? 1/2 D. And then we'll go 1/2 times 4 is going to be 2. That's right. And then we got equals 78. And now let's see, I think we got some like terms. For instance, it looks like 2 and 2 are like terms. And 3D, D, and 1/2 D are like terms. What's 2 plus 2 going to be? 4. What do we have? 3D plus D, 4D, plus 1/2 D. It's 4 plus 1/2. 4 1/2 or 4.5. Would you like to write it like that? Okay, we'll do that. So 4.5D equals 78. So we got 4 plus 4.5D equals 78. Now what? Minus 4. So I'm going to get 4.5D equals 74. And then I'm going to divide by 4.5. I'm going to stop spinning. And for this one particular, just y'all go ahead and put in the calculator, or just to save us some time here. $16.4 repeating. Okay, that's a very odd answer, but we'll go with that. So that is David's age. Could we use it to help us find Mary and Ryan? What will we do? Say that again. Plug into the other equations, right? So if we wanted Mary's age, we would do 2 plus 3 times 16.4 and plug in the 16.4 for D. You're gonna have to tell me I ain't got a calculator in front of me. Did you get it, Carson? No, okay, you're fine. Oh, you did. What you got? Say that again. 51.4 repeating, 3 repeating. Okay, and then we got Ryan's age is going to be 1/2 16.4 plus 4. Who's got this one for me? What you got, Garrett? 20.4? You got to take half of that, right? 10.2. So that's probably the hardest that they're going to get with doing that substitution.